Hello, I'm Drew,
I'm Leo.
and this is the DL Show.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
We're here for another episode.
Yeah, and today we have a fun one, I feel. Yes.
Simple, chill.
Lighthearted, yeah. How have you been?
Good. It's been how long?
700 months, I
so.
think so.
Around that time.
Yeah, because we filmed in late November, I'm pretty sure.
Wow, so it's been
It's been a minute, but then we didn't upload until maybe January or late December.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
it's the Wicked video, no?
Yes, it was the Wicked. That's why I was like, this was 500 years ago.
Yeah,
because I might actually I think it was early December, something like that. So it has been a bit of a minute. So how have you been?
I've been good. The same old, just working. I'm back to having 2 days off for a period of time. I had only 1 day off.
Can you please tell them your schedule, how it was?
So it was busy, heavy season. So we had a bunch of work, and because I'm a temp, they were like, okay, well, just change your schedule to fit the needs of the production. So for I think 4 weeks, I worked 6 days a week, 9.5 hours. It was terrible. It was terrible in the sense that I had to work a lot. But what I do is not that hard compared to other jobs. It was more having to go for that long. Because, on a normal day, it would be 1:45 p.m. to 11:45. So we were doing, 9.5 hours because we take a 30-minute lunch. And then other days, we would do 11:15 to 9:15. That was our getting out early schedule. so it was tough, but I got through it. The checks were fat, so I wasn't really complaining because once I saw how much money I was getting, I was like, oh, it's not that bad. But I got through it. I'm back to my regular schedule now, so
we're able to film.
Yeah, now we're able to film more
because it was just crazy.
Yeah, 1 day off. I could barely see Andrew and Eileen.
Yeah.
So,
and we wanted to enjoy that time, not be like, oh, here's your 1 day off, 4 hours of filming, and then preparation, and so.
But what about you? How have you been?
So I'm recently single again. That's something that is a new development in my life. I was honestly single for a long time. I was dating people here and there. If you have seen our video, we kind of talk about that. I forget which number it is. I'm sure I'll put something here. But I talked about my dating experience, which is I had a very serious relationship when I was in high school, was single up until I was 20, then got into a quick, very toxic relationship for 4 months, which is crazy how much damage 4 months can do. And then after that, I had dated, but I was never in a real relationship up until last year. And this relationship I was in, it lasted about 6 months, which for me, it's not that long, but it's quite a bit of time, and so we ended things, and we are very we're friendly, we're good with each other, which is also new for me. I don't have an ex I'm not blocked by, or I'm blocking them, so this is nice. And so that's kind of something, and I'm trying to fill up my time with things like friends. I have a planner that he got me. No, I'm just kidding. But I have a planner and I just started doing this week. But there's a notes section of the calendar, and I did a bunch of designs of if this day, if I did 30 minutes of reading, I draw a star. Or if I cleaned my apartment, I do a circle. Or if I didn't, I have 8 different symbols because I feel I need that to do things. But it's so funny because this morning I opened up my day and I'm what did I do yesterday? And I had nothing to put it in. I'm so I didn't do anything productive yesterday. But that has kind of been good for me, using this planner. It feels cool when I'm I wrote down, I think it was last week when we kind of decided it, but I was today, I was DL filming, it feels good to fill it up. And then I have a symbol for when I film, whether that be the podcast or my own personal project. So I'll have something done today for sure. So that's been good. I've been trying to be productive about things. This has felt like the most mature breakup I've gone through. In the past, it was a lot of I don't know, doing too much on each other's ends. Either my partner was doing too much post breakup or I was doing too much. And so this feels like one where, we're moving like adults and it feels nice. And yeah, that's kind of been the big thing, that what I've been going through. And I'd talk more, but it's not about that. And honestly, like, this isn't in a relationship right now. It's still fresh that I want to dissect and really be like, this is, I'm not here for that. But because it just happened this month. Yeah. It was literally Super Bowl Sunday. So I was like, I always have a date that I can like kind of circle that back to. What are some songs kind of been into?
Well,
or what song is your song of the week?
Yeah, I think for this week it would probably be, I think Abracadabra by one Miss Lady Gaga.
Our paws are fucking up. Our paws are up.
But because I feel like it's very much old. No, like Fame Monster Gaga.
Yeah.
So it's been on repeat. Oh, yes. Like every time I finish, I'm again. Because it's very digestible pop music.
Yes, 100%.
And it's great because Gaga made it. So yeah. It's been on loop.
And it's crazy because like I'm so used to as we're queer, we tap into artists that not the straight general public are necessarily into, but it feels like everybody's kind of going hard for this one. Like a lot of people, even our buddy Frankie, we love you. Oh. Yeah, he doesn't really we listen to a lot of the same music, but like the gayer pop, he's not necessarily like inclined to. But he goes off to Abracadabra. Like we were drunk at a party one time, and he's like, "Would it be gay if I recommended this?" And I'm like, "Well, yes, and let's do it." So I think it's really grabbing people, and the reaction also kind of warms my heart. Like I just saw this TikTok, and it was like an older little boy and a younger. I'm guessing it's his little sister, and they are rewatching the Abracadabra music video. Yeah, and that reminded me, and I sent it to her. The amount of times, which in retrospect, I say we watched it, but I'm sure I just made her. But the amount of times me and my cousin Mia watched like Lady Gaga music videos, like we watched the Telephone music video at least double digits. And we were both like, we were just locked in. It was just so different. And like a lot of people can say whatever you want about Lady Gaga, but you can't deny she was different. And she was something that the pop culture really needed and wanted. Like that's why we all ate her up. That's why Just Dance, Poker Face, Born This Way, all of them. Come on, Paparazzi, those earlier eras were just undeniable. It's what the culture needed, was something different. And
it's cool. I feel like people say it lightly about, or like they just like to throw it around at anything. But I feel like Gaga was like a cultural shift.
100%. Yes.
Because after her like debut, everyone like wanted to be different.
Yep, 100%.
Everyone tried to have that like those big attention grabbing moments.
Yes.
But I feel like Gaga's the only one that can naturally do it.
Yes, I forgot which artist was it, but they were talking about how with Lady Gaga, how at first, she kind of was different, and then everybody started dressing different, and then while everybody started dressing different, she started dressing like a guy, when she had like that drag king persona, like she just never wanted to just sit with what was comfortable, She
always pushes the boundaries.
Yes, and I just love her for it. So seeing these kids reacting and eating up Lady Gaga like me and my cousin did, like it just warmed my heart, and I'm like, my paws are fucking up.
You can't. I feel like people, they joke around about how corny she is, or like, they just like to make fun of her. But I feel like Gaga is genuinely like a good, like kind-hearted artist.
Yes.
100%. She's a genuine person. The way she cares about her fans.
Yeah.
She always stands by them.
Yeah.
Like when she won the Grammy for Die With a Smile, her voicing her support for trans people.
Yes.
After the White House just turned their back on them.
100%.
It's beautiful.
It is
have
beautiful.
Someone of her platform be so vocal for those who support her.
Yeah. And I feel like, I'm not saying Lady Gaga invented theatrics and pop music, but she brought that really heavily with her career. And I feel like artists like Chaperone, who I love, like, I don't know, she's a Lady Gaga daughter for sure. There's 100%. Artists where I look at you and I'm like, you went to the Lady Gaga School of Pop, as you should, because it's a great school. So yeah, I love it. I love that song, Abracadabra, and I hope it only gets bigger.
What we would eventually want to do is do like live streams.
Yes.
And then just have that as like separate content along with the video.
Yeah.
And we still haven't. I mean, I don't think we can live stream.
Yeah, I was about to say. I remember when we were like, okay, we're gonna live stream your live stream, and somebody, I forgot who I met. It might have been a coworker.
Oh, my coworker Cindy. Shout out. She's like, don't you need 1,000 followers for that? I was like, no, you don't. You can just go live if you want to. And then we tried. We were just hanging out one time, and we're like, we should go live. And then it's like, you need 1,000 followers to go live.
I was like, quick, let's buy them. No, but yeah, we're gonna get there. Yeah,
eventually.
Yeah,
we'll get there. Yes.
Yeah, and then for me, the song, it just came out super recently, but I've been really obsessed with it. Is 15 Minutes from Sabrina Carpenter, and I feel like one thing I love about artists, and I feel like a lot of artists that I really care for are singular. Like there is a song that only an artist could make. I feel like with Lana, there's a reason why Venice Bitch comes to mind. You know, it has the Lana-isms of like, whatever, everything forever, ice cream, ice queen, all these like Americana, simplistic lyrics.
That only Lana
could pull off, you know what I mean? And I feel like SZA, songs like Blind, where like, you're still talking about babies and I'm still taking a plan B. Like, who says that? Or
Drew Barrymore. Is it Drew Barrymore when she's like, someone, no.
Yeah, somebody spark the blood.
Somebody get the
tacos. Yes, exactly.
Whatever. And
it's like, these are lyrics, these are like songs, again, that only these artists can really make. And I love that artists have that. For another one is like Lizzo, About Damn Time. Like it's Bad Bitch O'Clock, it's Thick 30. Like nobody, who does that? But you did that, Lizzo. You know what? I love that. And I feel like Sabrina Carpenter with 15 Minutes, it's something that I think it's like, so far it's her best song, and I feel like she's only started making good music like 2 years ago. So I'm excited to see this progression. But even lines where like, cause it's a play on like 15 minutes of fame, how like, if somebody blows up and it's just like a one-hit wonder, they only like have those 15 minutes. She talks about how she can do a lot with 15 minutes. And even the bridge, she talks about like, if it starts to go away, like she can leak a photo or, just something very tongue-in-cheek that I feel like she does really well. Like, I think her best line that's so Sabrina Carpenter is, come right on me. I mean, camaraderie. I'm like, who does that? Nobody does that. But you do that.
Well, really, I don't like, it's not that I don't like, I just don't listen to her music.
Yeah, same.
But what I do admire about Sabrina is her comfortable with her sexuality.
Yes.
I feel like she knows how to use it and expresses it really well in her art.
Yeah.
And, I feel like a lot of people don't like her for it.
Yeah, they push back on that.
I don't know the song, but like for her concerts, I think like
a Juno.
Yeah,
where she's like freaky positions.
Yeah.
She always does.
But it's like she's grown. It's part of her act. I don't know.
Yes.
I feel like people don't maybe realize that, that it's only she could pull it off.
Yes, exactly.
Because it's not like she's doing it just to do it. I'm sure it's part of the song. It's related to the song.
It's part of the joke. And that's the thing. I think of artists like super freaky grandma, Nicki Minaj. Yes. And like everybody's clowning her because she's like 40 and she's like on stage on her stomach, like doing splits that like, and it's cringy because she's not self-aware of the fact that it's cringy. But Sabrina does it. It's part of the joke, like she's not taking herself seriously. The sexuality is very tongue-in-cheek, which I think is fun. I feel like it's the difference between when you're watching something like pornographic and something sensual. There's like lines in between things,
like
know?
White Lotus.
Exactly. Or even like how Challengers is so sexual, sensual, but it's not that.
It's not like nudity.
No, exactly. It's not explicit. And I feel like that's Sabrina. She's accepts with substitute sensuality with tongue-in-cheek, with quirky, with like joking about it. And so, and like I said, 15 Minutes, I think it's the best work she's done so far. So
Sabrina.
Yeah, Sabrina. And if you knew us, like even we could not stand her.
I still don't.
No, yeah. And
I'm a hardcore Livy.
Yeah, we are Livies, whatever they're called. We love our girl. But we also pride ourselves on like if we give flowers. You know, we're not brain rot.
Feather.
Yeah, I feel like
I have the emote on Fortnite. You know, it's cool.
It is, yeah. So I mean, and that's that me espresso. Everybody was listening.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my song.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say 15 Minutes by Madison Beer. I'm like, oh, Madison.
I like Madison too.
No, Madison. Yeah,
she's great too.
She's slowly coming out of the Kia asylum, but she's still there.
100%. Every time she tries, they throw her back in.
Yes. I mean, she got a Grammy nomination for it.
Not a lot of people have.
No.
She didn't win, but.
Yeah. But she's almost there.
Yeah, she is.
But
now we can kind of talk about something that we feel strong about, something we like and something we don't. It's a new segment. We started it last episode, but yeah. So one thing that we were really like excited about and we like is our shows are back.
I know.
Finally.
Yellow Jackets, White Lotus,
Severance. Peak television happening right there. There's other stuff, but they're not as good.
Yeah.
Invincible. Period.
No, thank you.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah, but Yellow Jackets, I mean,
so good. Severance.
I saw. I hadn't seen the latest episode. I saw it last night. It was amazing. Like,
yeah, that's
good television. That's
good television, and that's the thing where I'm like, I love a good binge. I really do, but there is something about waiting that week to week, and it's painful, but it's a good painful because then you spend that week. All I think about is these shows we're watching. I spend all week thinking about Yellow Jackets. I spend all week thinking about Severance. I spend all week thinking about White Lotus. Every week. And that's where I'm like, it's back. And I feel like, streaming has changed, the scope, the environment of television, of movies.
We consume media in general.
Exactly. And so, like, it feels like there's a lot of things where I'm like, I'll just wait. And I say that about a lot of shows. Where I'm like, I'll just wait till it's done and then I'll binge it. Yeah. But these are like, no, I have to be tuned in. You have to because you'll get everything spoiled too. Like if you wait more than a day.
Not only that, but also I feel like it enriches having discussions too.
Yeah, because, of course, yeah.
For example, I have a coworker and we always watch, we watch Severance separately and then he comes back on Sundays. So Sundays is when I see him, we just talk. I'll be walking around sorting work, and every time I go to his station, I'm like, okay, so what did you think about it? And he's like, oh, we'll just talk about it. Mm-hmm. And, it's like if the whole show came out in one day, you can't have those interactions with other people, no. Discussing theories or just even if things aren't that deep, but having someone to talk about it just makes the experience even richer,
Yeah, and if you think about it, we're all kind of on the same playing field in the sense of let's say a show just came out and it's bingeable, right? Let's say a day or two after you're talking with a friend and you both started it, but your friend is on episode 8 and you're on episode 3. You can't just be you both could be like, oh, the show's so good, but you kind of have to stop yourself. There's again, there's a difference. But if we all have to wait that week to week, we all are kind of forced to be at the same understanding so we can kind of have those discussions and they feel very just fun. And it's always fun too when something, there's been times where I'm like, why did I think that was going to happen, But that's part of the fun.
It's fun, yeah.
Yeah, you come up with your theories. They're not always accurate. They don't always work out. But when they do, it's also so rewarding too, being like, I caught that or I picked that up or...
especially with White Lotus, I saw on Twitter people were like, oh, White Lotus is the show that should come out all in one day. Mm-hmm. You can't binge it. But I feel I'm not saying we're intellectuals, we're not the bright, but it's I feel like those shows benefit from the fact that people talk about them.
Of course,
yes. People just on TikTok, mainly because it's my For You page. But the amount of people that make videos theorizing about White Lotus, about Yellow Jackets,
Severance. Oh, yes.
There's so much content that just it makes it worth not having the whole show.
Yeah, I think shows like Squid Games, a lot of Netflix shows where it gets all at once. The way content is made is by a cliff ending. Yeah. You have to what's next for season 3, but that's that kind of loses a lot of it, you know. With every episode, you're really able to like dissect shit, you know, because you have that week to really sit with it. Like I won't spoil the context or anything about it, but there's one scene in season 3 of Yellow Jackets where Melanie Linsky, who's an amazing actress, in the kitchen, where she's screaming. I think about it. Yeah. Get the fuck out of my house! Yeah. Oh, I think about it all the time, and I like if I got the whole show at once, I'm sure there'd be so many moments that that one would get lost with it.
Yeah.
Like I would not think about this small moment because I would have gotten the twists. But I'm like, no, I get to sit with these smaller moments that make up these characters. And yeah, I feel like a lot of shows can also like really be hurt by a binge. Oh. Like if it all comes out at once, you kind of eat it all up. You're like, well, okay, boom. That's it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Or you talk about it for the week it came out, maybe 2, and then that's it. You move on. But when you force your audience to have to wait, we create the content. We create discussions that are organic, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, for example, like White Lotus, apparently season 3 had like the biggest debut in like viewers since like the first season. And each episode, it's just getting bigger.
Yeah.
And
same with Yellow Jackets.
Yeah. And like, it comes, I mean, I'm sure there are other factors, but I feel like the main factor is that having an episode like a week, it helps people not only catch up, you know, if it, for example, like White Lotus, I think the 3rd episode just came out or is coming out.
Yeah.
So, you know, people can still catch up and still be part of, you know, like the event of it all.
Yeah.
Of it coming out on Sunday, being there when it drops. So,
yeah.
I'm just glad that we have television back.
Yeah, me too. Because we watch stuff.
Yeah,
but it's different when you have that weekly show to look forward to. Yeah,
because I mean, we just finished season 4 of Only Murders in the Building.
That's a great show. That was
amazing.
Amazing.
Like, we can't wait for season 5.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's something we've been liking. But something that we've not hating, but I guess negatively aware of. A term I didn't know that this is what they refer to them, but it's like LOL cows.
Yeah,
right.
Lolcows.
But what I specifically don't like or want to talk about are 3 individuals. I'm like 3 individuals: Ash Trevino, Tophia Chu, and I don't know their name or her name, or but they go by Jasmine. I think that's...
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I think before we really get into it, I think we should, just for the audience sake and stuff like that, let's get an understanding. What is a lolcow? Yeah. What's your understanding? I can say mine after. Or
so from what I remember you and Giselle tell me, a lolcow is kind of someone that puts themselves out there in like social media to get pretty much made fun of by people.
Yeah.
You know, like they kind of thrive in creating negative situations for themselves where people can like LOL cows, you know, like lol cows, just make fun of them.
Yeah, I would say like a lolcow can also be described, or like a good example of a lolcow, but like in media it's like the Meg Griffin of a show, or like the Meg Griffin from Family Guy is a character that you laugh at because everybody makes fun of this person, and that's what you're laughing at. You're not laughing at their jokes. You're laughing at people making fun of this person.
Because I feel like that's an important thing. I feel like, for example, like Ashley, I feel like most of the time she feels that people are laughing with her.
Yeah.
But in reality, they're laughing at her.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. So, like when she tried, like, when we kind of do the... One smells a Santo. He knows smell well. When we say it, we're laughing at her about it, but she thinks that we're giving her this hype. So like I think about when she did that podcast and she's like singing it and she's like waiting for people to like laugh with her, and it's like, no, girl, like this isn't what's going on.
Or like the whole thing with her daughters not having a bed, and then she's like,
oh yeah,
well, and now they're enjoying the hotel bed. Like,
what?
Okay, like.
Yeah.
Why are you publicly saying that, like, or admitting that you don't care about your daughters?
Yeah. What? So people can laugh at you, not with you?
Yeah, and like, I mean, I don't know how true it is, but apparently, Santos, the only reason why she started talking to him was because she found out that one of her daughters had a crush on him. So that's why she went after him, because I feel like she has this weird vendetta against their daughters.
Oh yeah.
That, you know, because I mean they're young. First of all, I feel like that's mainly the biggest reason why she has like this animosity towards them is because they're young, and she's I think like 32 or something.
She's like 34.
So she's not the youngest.
No.
So and like she's always going after these the young guys. Like I don't know. She's just a very interesting person because you think that like someone like that wouldn't have a big social media presence or a big following, but just like I'll see clips of her lives and it's just people like egging her on.
Yeah.
I remember one time when she was like, I don't know if she was drunk or whatever, but she showed like her nipple.
Oh.
Like she like just like flashed it. And you know, I remember everyone was talking about it. And even till this day they'll be gifting her stuff, but the profile picture is a screenshot of her showing her, so she can see that people are like, so people can show her that they have that as their picture.
Yeah.
You know, and she's probably like, oh my god, yeah, thank you for the gift. But it's like, no, girl, like they're showing you exposing yourself.
I love that you brought up that example because it reminds me, I feel like the original Lolcow is literally like a jester for the king and queen. You know, somebody who makes fun of themselves for others people's amusement. And I feel like the sick thing about it, though, is it works. Like, she gets money.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm just like, it's so hard because I think of people like Ash Trevino, who, in my opinion, is like a bad person. Like, she's a bad mother. We've seen she laughs at the discomfort, at the negligence that she deals with her own daughters. You know, she's in competition with them. She doesn't like to be one-upped. Like, this is somebody where, like, I would hate if you were my mom. Yeah. And it's horrible. You're humiliating your daughters, and you only care about this approval. I've seen things that she talked with men who have, like, raped women. And
I think she's always, like, getting married to
inmates.
Prisons.
Men, yeah.
Like, she'll take wedding photo shoots by herself. Or with like a printed picture of the guy like calling her. Like,
what?
It's you're not real. Like, you know, it's just like, how can you exist?
Yes.
It's such a like in like, for example, speaking of people that I feel like are not real, Tophia Chu. I'm like, mind you, she's like, I don't know how old she is. But she's old.
She looks both 40 and like 20 at the same time. Like,
so Tophia Chu, I mean, you know, I'm not fully versed in that corner Chu of Lolcows, but from what I understand, is apparently they used to live in a house or an apartment, but then they got kicked out. It's her, Mama Chu, Brother Chu, and I think Papa Chu used to live with them. I love that they say that, like the Chu. I don't know.
Out of everything,
so
yeah.
So after they got kicked out of their apartment, they went to a motel, and where they apparently got kicked out, they were there for some time, but then they got kicked out because apparently they're really dirty. I mean, I don't know. You know, I don't doubt it. Hygiene, but apparently a worker from the hotel like exposed them, so they got kicked out, and like now they live in a car Chu. The car Chu, you know. So it's crazy because, okay, a typical normal life would be like Tophia just doing whatever, and then people just telling her like, go get a job, like, and then she'll be like, I don't need a job because I do social media, and then people are like, no, you don't. But then she's like, I don't, like, why would I want to do a job where like people like they work but they don't get paid as much? Like, I do this and like I get paid. And it's so weird because I feel like she's really oblivious to the fact that she's like homeless.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Lolcows that, like, I love that you're bringing this example, is there's a layer of like pure ignorance,
Yeah.
delusion. Like, you have to be there. You have to have something broken to not register that thousands, almost sometimes millions of people are laughing at you.
Yeah.
And like, and maybe it's coping. You know, I don't know how I'd survive if like hundreds of thousands of people thought I was the worst person ever. But with them, it's like, there's a reason. It's not just that they're cringy. Like, that I would be like, you guys are bullying. But like, even Tophia, wasn't she caught talking to minors?
Yeah, no. I mean, Tophia, I sometimes I'll feel bad because she'll cry during lives.
Yeah.
Like, people will tell her like the most terrible things, and she'll just start crying. But the thing is, like, also she's not the best of people.
No.
Like,
Yeah,
apparently she's been talking to minors. She was watching like Asian teenage like corn. Like,
yeah, corn star.
yeah, like,
P star or
yeah. Cornhub, but like it's like also, I feel like maybe that's just part of being a lolcow, that like you're also like irredeemable as a person, so maybe it just that fuels the hate people give you.
Yeah, it's kind of sick though. Have you ever watched Black Mirror? I was thinking of White Bear. Have you ever heard of that one? It's like an earlier one. No. So the premise of this episode is like a woman is being like followed by like tens of people. She's basically being like harassed and borderline tortured, and she has to go through all this shit. But at the end of the episode, you find out that the reason why she's being tortured is because her and her boyfriend like unalived a little girl and recorded it. And so every day they wipe her memory so she doesn't remember doing that, and they torture her. And like all these people watch it out of amusement. And like I can't help but make the correlation between that and lolcows, where I'm like it's so complex in the sense of like, yeah, it is, because I'm like, you're a bad person, but like, who am I to judge? Yes. And it's just it's really weird. I mean, it's easy, and I say that, but earlier I was like, Ash Trevino's a bad person. Like, it's just really hard. It's really hard because when the internet gangs up on somebody, you sometimes understand why. I'm like, well, yeah, you're annoying, you're a bad person, you treat your daughters like shit, you're a weirdo with minors, like, but again, like, does anybody really deserve hundreds of thousands of people,
But then, like, you're right. Like, I feel like I feel like no one deserves the hate. But also, I feel like at one point, I'm like, they do deserve it if they monetize off of it.
Yes, I was just thinking that,
because it's like, okay, for example, Ash Trevino, like, you could stop. But it's like, she gets money. Yeah. So it's like, she's going to keep doing it. Yeah. She's not going to stop.
And that's the thing, too. Like, she gets so much hate. Like, she doesn't internalize any of it. She still has the confidence of like, it's audacity. It pisses me off.
I feel like it's just delusion at that point.
Yeah.
It's just like, just rub it off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And then like the last person who's like, I think somehow worse than the other two, Jasmine.
Oh.
Just out of pure rancidness.
It's just, I barely started getting their videos. The videos that I started seeing of them is them being homeless. Because apparently, I don't know how it all started, but from when I started watching them, they were kicked out of a friend's house because, Jasmine was homeless, and then they invited her to stay, or them to stay with them, but then they started bringing guys over to the other person's place without them knowing. They thought it was very rude, which, of course, someone's letting you stay at their house and then you're having people over to have sex with. Like, no, like, have some decency. Yeah. So they kicked them out again. So I've been just seeing updates every day of like, homeless update. I got a Starbucks today. Homeless update. Showering myself in this bathroom because I don't have anywhere to go. Yeah. Homeless update. It's like 2 days before my birthday. Like, someone sent me money. And it's just like, at what point do you just want, like, go get a job?
Yeah. And I feel like the context of this too, because it could sound, if you don't know this individual, you're probably like, oh, I feel bad for them, they're homeless, which is true. But like, there's so much footage of this person like nasty, being just the worst individual, saying the most atrocious things to people. And we were just talking about this with Ash Trevino, how she always makes fun of the death of other people's parents. It's like, oh, well, your mom died, your dad died, as like a gotcha. But then even her own daughters were like, hey, mom, don't say that. Like, people could say that about our dad dying. She's like, no, they won't. And then people do.
They did.
And so it's like, with Jasmine, like, truly rancid things. Like, one time over, like, because Jasmine is like a massive, massive, massive barb. And so, like, of course. And so, like, because over, like, some Twitter dispute, Jasmine had gotten somebody doxxed and went to the person's house. And there's, like, footage of, like, the dad of the individual that got doxxed is like, I'm calling the cops. And, like, he has, like, a flashlight where it's, like, really bright. It's like an intruder, like, advertent, like, flashlight where you're, like, getting, like, and so it's just footage. It's the person recording, and you see Jasmine just running in the dark while getting chased by this flashlight.
Looks like encrypted, like, footage. You know,
really
like Bigfoot.
does.
Of
Yeah,
just, like,
exactly.
Like, did you see that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just really weird. It's such a strange thing. And that's why when we're, like, we dislike this whole concept of it. It's just very, it's
not necessarily disliking the people. Mm-hmm. It's more, like, the concept of, like, lolcows, like,
because I feel like that it's easy for it to, like, fall over or fall into bullying territory.
1,000%.
Because all it takes is for the lolcow of the month to be someone who actually isn't an asshole. Like, the examples we brought up, these are all people who have said horrible things, have done horrible things, but that's not necessarily always the case. Like, we have a very close friend who was, like, for, like, a good couple weeks, in my opinion, the target of, like, an online hate campaign. Our friend Giselle, you know? And we're not saying she doesn't fit under lolcow, but that's how slippery of a slope it can be, you know? Where just all it takes is a group of people to decide that this individual is annoying. And then boom.
It's at the end of the day, it's also just social media. So it's a very interesting just corner of it. That, like, people, you know, especially nowadays, that, like, not, like, to be political, but, like, people are trying to be more woke. Mm-hmm. So seeing all of that happen, it's kind of like, well, like, how are we moving forward, but also still being so, like, backward thinking?
And we're so moving backwards. It's scary. Like, as much as we're trying to seem woke, as much as we're trying to be like, yeah, it's just like with who just got into office right now. There was this piece. I'm, like, so anti-intellectual for not knowing the newspaper, but there was a piece that was recently run, and it was about the youth of, like, Trump. You know, like, a lot of, like, the youth who voted Trump. And all of them are just like, oh, I can't wait to say the R word again. I love that we can call people, like, slurs again, like, no more. And I'm like, that's all you guys want, is just to be mean. To be mean-spirited without being checked.
Yeah, I mean, without repercussions.
Exactly. You guys didn't vote for ideologies. You guys didn't vote because of politics. You guys voted because of hatred. And, like, I saw this really interesting video on how things that seem unconnected are connected into, like, the zeitgeist. You know, we're hating. There's also something to be said about the fact that Ash, Tophia, and Jasmine are all plus size. Like, I'm pretty sure Latino. I'm pretty sure they're all Mexican, low-key.
No,
not
Tophia, not Ash. I don't know about Jasmine.
Ash isn't Mexican?
No, she's like Guatemalan or...
Oh, Latino. They're not Latino.
She's Latino, but not like Mexican.
You know, they're all... And that's the thing, like, not saying...
I feel like...
We should bully white fat people, but, like, you know... No, but it's just... There is something to be said with, like, this rise of anti-intellectualism. Like, hating on these individuals. I don't know. It's just... It all feels connected.
I mean, I don't know, maybe... But what I feel is also maybe... Like, Latino people tend to borrow themselves more towards hate if it means, like, monetize, like, what's that word? Like, taking, like, monetizing off of it.
Yeah, no,
you know?
you're right.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, Ash.
Profiting off it.
Yeah, profiting, that's the word.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just very interesting.
It is very interesting. And we don't have the bandwidth to, like, dissect it any further than just what our thoughts are now.
Yeah,
you know?
Because... I feel like you said it's a very slippery slope because it's multifaceted. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, we don't know their whole story, so we can't just base our opinions right now are solely based on the limited amount of, like, stuff we've seen of them.
Yeah,
but I feel like it's good. It's good enough to get a good opinion.
Yeah, and just have this conversation. And I'm so curious. I hope people comment and talk
I know.
About
what do you
this.
guys think about lolcows? Do you have any other?
Yes, that have in mind. And I'm sure.
Because I feel like in a way they're guilty pleasures.
Yeah. I mean, one that we didn't talk about. And it's so funny because, like, my sisters and my brother, like, we have a TikTok group chat. And I know so much about this stuff. Not because they're sending, like, intellectual discussions of it, but because they're sending, like, the lolcowness of it all. I mean, Shawtybae is like the lolcow, you know, where everybody, And like I don't want to go into it any further, but Shawtybae is a case where I'm like, you infuriate me, but I feel so bad for you because everybody around you is profiting off the fact that they're low-key making fun of you. Like every guy who's ever been with her, I'm like, and so it's, yes, we want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. You know, do you have a lolcow that is your guilty pleasure?
Mine's Tophia Chu, dude. I love the one when she's like, everyone's mad at me, and they say like, fuck, and then she throws her controller and like everything. Tophia Chu.
Yeah. So. Yeah,
that was kind of a long discussion.
Yeah,
but we do have a topic that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, it's the Oscars this Sunday. Unfortunately, just due to timing, we're not gonna like cover. If we had 1,000 followers, we could have went on live. But
you guys could watch us. Watch the Oscars,
yeah. But in the meantime, you know, we watch quite a few movies, and so we thought we would just like go through our 2024, all the movies that came out. I literally went on Wiki and like screenshotted every one that I've seen. And I know quite a few of them were with you. So we're just going through the movies, quick thoughts. You know, was it a chop? Is it a skip? Or is it something that's worth your time? Something that like, you could just watch on streaming, or like hidden gems, you know? Like, oh, this is something you need to watch. Not a lot of people talked about.
Yeah.
Did you wrote down all yours too, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I'll just go through with mine, and then if you've seen it too. So the first movie we have on the list, the first movie I watched, I'm pretty sure we watched it together, of 2024, was Mean Girls. Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah,
it was a fun time.
It was a fun time, and this is where I'm going to say one thing that as I got older, you know, I'm somebody who considers myself an aspiring filmmaker. And for me, even just doing a web series, it takes so much energy. And that's with a budget of $2 and just my friends and I giving our time, you know? Imagine that on a scale times a million. Like millions, you know? And that takes thousands of hours of work and care. And so, like, the more I realize that, the harder it is for me to hate on a movie. Like, even movies that people hate on, I'm like, that took time. You know what? And, like, good for you guys that you did it, you know? So I feel like Mean Girls is a movie where I'm like, I had a good time, and that's okay. That's enough.
100%. I feel like nowadays people don't, like, the mid-range movie is gone.
Yes.
I feel like nowadays everything either has to be, like, Oscar-worthy, you know, intellectual, or, like, the worst movie ever.
Ever.
Like, and people don't want to watch movies in between.
Yeah.
And I mean, a part of that has to do with streaming. I feel
yeah.
Like
oh yeah.
Streaming killed the mid-range movie, like the rom-com that doesn't do exactly pretty well, but it still manages to become, you know, a big moment because people watched it. You know. And I feel like in a way, Mean Girls is kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, it's not Oscar movie. The Oscar level musical like La La Land. No. But you know, it was fun. It had Megan Thee Stallion at the
Oh yeah, that's not my fault. It's not my fault. Yes, Renee Rapp ate as Regina,
as
you know.
George.
If there's a reason that movie was made at all, it was for Renee Rapp to be a musical version of Regina George. Like she ate.
I mean, the movie started off as a musical, right? Like the original one is based.
Yeah, the movie is based off of Broadway, but then okay. The timeline is a book first came out about, it was like Queen Bees or something. Tina Fey, Ghoststress, by the way. I think Tina Fey we love her.
Yeah.
One of the great comedic gods, truly. She wrote and adapted that into a movie, Mean Girls. Then Mean Girls by Tina Fey got adapted into a Broadway play. And then the Broadway play got adapted into the movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. So there's like kind of layers. Tina Fey is behind it all.
Yes.
Yeah. The morally crooked Tina Fey doesn't, you know, she's still so beyond talented. Yes. Hilarious. So yeah, and in my opinion, I've seen some people, I think even maybe you, that people have thought it's better than the original.
I think so. You know, I mean, I think so in the sense that it's a very modernized version.
Yeah, it's, you know, gayer. Yes, more people of color. It's not white as fuck.
It doesn't. In me saying that does not take away from the fact that, you know, of course, the one from 2006.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
it's, I mean, classic.
Classic.
You know, Rachel McAdams. Amanda Seyfried.
Yes.
And then the one with the curly hair.
Yes, Gretchen. And then like everybody was Amy Poehler, Tina Fey,
the comedic
goddesses, yes. Both of them. So like, yeah, but it is more modernized. And I feel like the older I get, the more I consume media, the harder it is for me to watch cis het normative shit. Like, it's so funny. Just the other day we were talking about it, and when you said this, I was like laughing, and I even told Alex about it because it's so real. About there's this show I've been seeing on like Paramount, and I told Leo like maybe we should watch, and he was like, is it gay? Because if it's gay, I'm there, but if not, and I'm like, no, you're so real. I'm not gonna sit through hours of some straight boring shit, you know.
And the thing is, like, I'll watch if like what show was it? Oh, I watched 911 Lone Star. Because I saw a TikTok, I kid you not. You've probably seen it. The Rue Happy Moments, 1 minute
like
20
seconds.
Yeah. So there was this gay couple in that show. I kid you not. Each episode had only like 15 seconds of them, and I saw through 3 seasons of that, just feeding off the crumbs. It was entertaining TV, but I'm like, I was there for the gay stuff.
Exactly.
It was good enough for me to like watch it for 3 seasons. So
yeah,
I get it.
And
like,
it's so funny because we'll watch anything gay, and it's always a plus when it's actually still good. Yeah. And we're like, whoa, like
surprised.
You'll be, yeah, 100%. So, the next movie I have that I saw, did you watch Lisa Frankenstein?
No.
Didn't seem like something that interests you?
No.
I liked it.
It looked fun.
Yes, I thought it was fun. Funny enough, the director of it is Zelda Williams, who is Robin Williams' daughter. But more famously, she's the voice actress for Kuvera from Legend of Korra. Yes.
She's more famous than her father.
To me.
Yes.
Kuvera, anything Robin Williams has ever done.
Well, yeah. Mrs. Kuvera, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and the screenwriter is Diablo Cody, who I adore. She's done Juno, Jennifer's Body. So I think she's great. And I went in, and she became a daughter to me by the end of this. She's older than me. I mean, she became a daughter to me. Catherine Newton.
Yeah, I fell in love with her. She was in Big Little Lies, no?
Yes, she was the daughter.
She was like,
yeah,
Mom, there's people that are homeless. I don't give a fuck about homeless people.
Homeless people. When she was
and
like, profit
no.
What is it when you like auction off her virginity?
Oh yeah.
She's great. I love her. She's in other things like
Ant-Man,
Quantumania. She was funny in Quantumanium. We'll talk about it later, but I also watched Abigail. And she was in Abigail too. So, but for me, it really started this year strong with her as Lisa Frankenstein. She was great. It's definitely, you know who else is in it? Carla, who's in all the
Carla Sofia Garcon.
Oh no. No.
Bingo.
No. Bingo. No, what's her name? Is it Carmen? She was in Spy Kids as the mom. She's in Mike Flanagan, all of her stuff. She's the Spanish queen. She's the one who played Death.
Oh yes, I don't know her name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. She's a queen. Oh. She's in it too. It's a good movie. I think it's solid. Definitely, I would check out. It's a hidden gem. Would I say it's like the greatest movie ever? No, but I definitely think it's worth time.
That's good.
What's your next one, Lee?
I mean, I don't have mine in order.
Yeah, no.
Because fine. I mean, I could pull it out, but I don't.
On the AMC app.
Yeah.
We got A-list this year, which is also why we were going quite a bit.
Oh well, the next one that we watched was Madam Web.
I have that next too. Yeah. Underrated, overhated.
I'm like better than any of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies.
Oh, quite a few of them. I had a blast. I remember when we went to go watch that too, and like, I am not above a so bad it's good movie. But I don't even think it was that bad.
It wasn't. It had its moments. Like of course some like cringy dialogue.
Yes, or like how she was like, I'm going to go to Peru, I'll be right back. Yes. And like the next scene, she's in Peru, and then she's back, within like a day. Did that make sense? No.
But at the end of the day, it's a movie.
It's a movie. It's real. It's a comic book movie. It's make-believe. And it had a bunch of little sisters too, like Sydney Sweeney. I forget her name, but she was in Dora the Explorer.
Isabel something,
yes!
No?
She was in Alien Romulus.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Yeah, which we will get to. We will. It was a fun time. I think
Dakota.
Of course. With her glasses, she's like rolling in. I feel like one thing I really dislike about internet culture is, I get it. Trust me. Like, it had some sloppy moments for sure. It did not deserve the hate train.
No.
And I feel like as soon as the internet decides a movie is bad, it's bad. People won't even watch it. They'll see out of context clips. They'll just be like, okay, it's a bad movie. And like, I hate that. Like, we've always said it, like, even if it looks bad, like, oh yeah, it looks bad, but we should still watch it.
Let's watch.
Exactly, because one, to support cinema in general, but two, because like we are very individualized people. Like, we're not always gonna go with the grain. So we got to give our own opinions. And I thought Madam Web was a fun time.
Me too. I had a blast.
I had a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you want to go or should I?
Yeah. So the next movie I watched, I don't think you did because I don't think anybody did really. It was called Drive-Away Dolls. Have you ever heard of it? No. So it's one of the Coen brothers. This is this director brother duo, and his wife is like a bisexual woman, and so he like wrote with her like 3, I think, and they're slowly getting made. Margaret Qualley is like going to be like in all of them, but they're all like sapphic lesbian movies. So Drive-Away Dolls has Margaret Qualley as the lead. You know who else is in it? Beanie.
Oh,
yeah, she plays her ex-girlfriend, cousin. We love her. And it's basically about these 2 lesbians. They're best friends, and they accidentally get like a suitcase which belongs to like.
Wait, I think I remember seeing a trailer.
Yes, it was
fun.
It was good. We should watch sometime. I had a blast. You know, somebody else was. I have such a good friend. My cousin. He's not my real cousin, but I call him cousin Abel. Cousin Abel. And we were going through, and I was talking about Drive-Away Dolls. I was like, I forgot, who did I watch that with? And he was like, you watched it with me. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Forgettable cousin
sometimes. But it was a great time, and it was all like lesbians. We love supporting queer. That's the thing too. We're not those gay men who only support gay. Exactly. No,
we'll support Love Victor. We were there.
Yellow Jackets being so sapphic.
We've been there.
We watch gay shit, all types of gay stuff. So we're always here for it. Like, we're not like we always joke, like, it'll be 2 straight women and we're like, oh, eat her pussy. You know, like we just have fun with it. We love queerness. So I was really glad to support that one.
That's good.
Like I said, nobody watched it, low-key. But what's the next one you have?
The next one I have is Challengers. I mean, we made a whole video about it.
I feel
like there's or down here.
Or down here, it's somewhere.
Or over here.
Yeah, well, it'll be like a link to it.
But, yeah, I mean, easily one of my favorite movies of the year. I feel like it was very an original idea, you know. It explored sexuality. Yeah. Through, like, a very, I feel like, unconventional in the way that, like, it's not really been, like, explored between, like a throuple. You know, with like because usually I feel like when people say throuples, it's usually like a guy and 2 women. Yeah. But this was like Zendaya and like 2 guys. You know? So I feel like in a way it gave her the control. Yeah. But, which was refreshing. It was refreshing. It was a new dynamic. It was a new take on a very used dynamic.
Yes, and I feel like to me, I think it's the best sports movie I've ever seen, because the thing about sports movies it's not about the sports. It's about the people. The people, yes. Exactly. It's about the team. You know, when they think of iconic sports movies, you're not like, oh, because it was so intense, because like they got it so accurate. Because people are like, it's not accurate to tennis. You're like, we're not here for that.
You know what's another good sports movie? The Longest Yard. With
I've never seen that.
Oh my God, what's
Adam
his name?
Sandler?
Adam Sandler.
Right?
Dude, it's so good.
Is that when he like teaches football?
Yeah,
to, like...
he goes to prison.
Yeah.
You know what song? I always think about it. That plays at the beginning. 212 by Azalea Banks.
Shut the fuck.
That's the first time I ever heard that song. It was because my dad loves that movie.
Really?
Like, no, it's a sad movie.
What?
It has a heart. It's a classic. Haha.
Oh, I should watch.
We should watch.
Yes. Oh my God, I would love to watch it. Yeah.
Because like you said, a good sports movie is not about the sport. It's more about like the people.
Yes, you know, exactly. They make them.
And that's like like I said, the perfect example. Yeah. And Adam Sandler, like, he carries.
I love Adam Sandler.
Yeah, he's like, that movie is
Papa.
Chris Rock is in it.
Oh, what? No, just kidding.
He could have killed him. Ew. What's his name? Judd Apatow.
Judd Apatow or what I wear where apparently people are getting assaulted on stage.
Zoe Kravitz. You killed your career with that.
Oh, bad.
But yeah, Challengers, classic.
Classic. No more to be said that we haven't talked about in our video. I think it's going to age to be one of the greats. Yes. One of the greats of all time. Easy.
He's one of Luca's greats.
Yes. Next, I have Dune Part 2.
Oh, I didn't have it here, but yeah, we watched it.
We watched it. We had a great time. Well, because you know what I remember? We watched Dune together, too, in theaters. It was me, you, and Frankie.
After we went to Seafood Boil.
Yeah. Oh, because no wonder.
Frankie. To be fair, Part 1, long.
It
wasn't boring.
No,
but it's it was very much Mockingjay Part 1. It was setting up the story, and then Part 2, I feel like it was
all the payoff.
Yeah. And it paid off.
Oh, and so to go back to Part 2 was excellent.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Acting was
cinematography
gorgeous. The action was there. Everything was fun, and everybody gave it their all. It was it made me like Dune Part 1 more because I was like, okay, I see it.
Worth staying for 40 hours.
Yeah, because I didn't love Dune Part 1, to be honest, and like whatever, like
I mean, I was enthralled.
Yes,
but I wasn't there.
No, exactly. I've never rewatched.
No,
I've never.
No.
No.
But I'll rewatch Dune Part 2.
Oh, easy. Yeah. Yes, I mean like Florence Pugh. Even you know who else was in it? Christopher Walken's from Severance. Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a cast.
It was.
It really was. And then Rebecca Ferguson giving like a mother performance. Also. Timothy, his best performance. Yeah, easy. Zendaya giving an all-star performance as well. I always think about that final scene of the whole movie, and it's Chidi like going away from it all mad because she knows it's all bullshit. Oh, so good. Oh, even what's his name? Austin Butler.
Oh yeah.
Devoured.
The one where he kissed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he like grabs him. Yeah. Oh, I was like, no, calm down.
No, calm down.
Calm down, Nunu. But yeah, that was a great film.
It was
easily great.
Fun.
Yeah, fun.
And for my next one, I have Maxine.
Oh, that was good too. That was fun too.
It was fun.
I think, for personally, the X trilogy is what people are calling it. I think that was probably like
the weakest one.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But I think it was a fun time. It was fun. It was Hollywood. It had a great cast too. Yeah. Sophie Thatcher from Yellow Jackets was in it for like a quick second. Halsey randomly was in it. It was a great time. I think Mia Goth is a star. She's a generational talent. And it was cool to have her really lead this. And like it's so funny because Maxine, this world is so hers as well as it is. I think it was Ty West, yeah. Like because Pearl came from her and him. Like they wrote X together, or he wrote X, they did it, and Mia Goth was like, I'm still feeling attached to this character. And she came up with this backstory with him, and so they together they wrote the script for Pearl, and then for that to lead to Maxine, like it's cool. I love when actors aren't afraid to really like helm a project with the director. If the director allows it, if there's that partnership. Yeah, I thought Maxine was a great time too.
Yeah, I think so too. I feel like it was a very like 80s Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
The classic random twist at the end. Yeah. The action. Exactly. Even like you said, like Mia Goth, like she just makes like her lead characters be the heart of the movie.
Yeah.
Like you just
They're real.
They're fictional, but they're real.
Exactly.
Yes.
Next one I have, which I don't think you've seen yet, but I think you like at some point we have to. Problemista? Have you seen?
I heard of it.
So good. Tilda Swinton is.
I wanted to watch it because of her.
Yeah, we need to watch it just because of her. Tilda Swinton gives probably my favorite performance of 2024. She is somebody who's like. So my grandma Anna, she's a kooky individual. And Tilda Swinton's performance reminds me of my grandma was like cranked to a 10. As if my grandma was a 1. Yes, and it's such an important movie, I think, with what's going on right now. So the premise is it's about this guy, Julio. He's from Salvador, I believe. And in this, it's kind of like a fantastical world in the way. Like it's everything is modern, but there's like magical elements to it which is like if you're an immigrant, they like have a time glass. And you need to constantly have somebody like a visa. You have to have a sponsor. And if you don't, like, they put a time, like an hourglass, and when it runs out, you just phase out of America. Yeah, it is funny, and it's a funny visual. But it talks about how it's just so rigged, because, like, you know, to have a visa, you know, you need to pay a lot of lawyer fees. To be able to get a job, you need a visa. And it's like, how does this work? You know, like, do you need to come super rich to pay it off? It's just, it talks about the system of, like, immigration and how hard it is in a very real way, in a very fun way too. And Tilda Swinton, again, is just gives her performance, and one of the best performances of her career. I think Tilda Swinton is probably top 3 of all time. I think she's amazing, and yeah, it's good to watch even just for her. She's great.
We should watch it.
We should. What's the next one you have?
The next one I have, it's a very dear to my heart. The Substance. I mean, I think in a perfect world that would win Best Picture.
Easy.
Because I don't know, it's a very unique movie in the sense that it captures its essence really well, and it's just a very enjoyable experience overall.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it deals a lot with coming to terms with, like, aging, especially for women.
Yeah.
You know, like society's expectations of women, especially women in the public eye. So it centers around Elizabeth Sparkle, who is a fitness. She does, like,
home videos. Yeah, for like like a fitness trainer who's you know, like, pump it up. Pump it up. Yeah.
Pump it. And, you know, so we meet her when she's I think her 50th birthday or whatever birthday it is, but, you know, everyone just keeps reminding her that it's her birthday. She just takes it as her being old, getting older, and then she gets fired from her show. So she just, you know, is spiraling, having to come to terms with the fact that she's no longer young.
Yeah.
Just, you know, people just throwing it in her face. And then that leads her to taking the substance. You know, I love that, like, they never tell you what it is, because it can be anything. Yeah. It can be Botox, it can be a facelift, it can be Ozempic, it can be, like, the way the director, I think her name's Carlene, like, Fragger. Something Fragger. You know, we're sorry we don't know her name. But she said that, like, she started writing the movie, like, a long time ago, and that's why she used the placeholder as a substance. But, like, the thing that is so, like, real about it is that every year there's a new substance, something new for aging. So, you know, it's always going to be just a substance. So, long story short, she takes it, and what it causes her to create, in a way, another version of herself, but a younger and better. And she's played by Margaret Qualley. You know, love her. Elizabeth Sparkle is played by Demi Moore, and another great performance. Yeah. That movie is just it pretty much is led by 3 people: Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, and Dennis Quaid. It just shows how different world views young women and older women. You know, because all the opportunities that were taken away from Elizabeth because of her age were given to Sue because she's the younger version of her. Especially nowadays, it's a very, almost like a cautionary tale. Oh yeah. Of, like, the dangers of, like, obsessing over beauty, or, like, trying to maintain beauty that people, like, aren't necessarily aware of. Yeah. Because people will do anything, and, you know, rightfully so. I mean, everyone's insecure about something. But, like, the things that some people go to like, stay beautiful is, like, they're very odd, like, self-destructive.
And that's the thing that, I mean, people die. They go under the knife, not because of surgical reasons, not because they need to, because of their health, because they want to look better, and they die. And it's so sad. And, like, we both are like this. I was raised with sisters, with tias, with my mom, grandmas, you know, that's who raised me, women. And I know you were surrounded by women too in this feminine energy. One scene that I'll never forget, and it just, like, I wanted to cry and it broke my heart, was when she's about to go on her date, Demi Moore, you know, and she looks gorgeous. I looked at her and I was like, yes. And then one little thing looked a little off. So she's fixing it until she spends essentially hours just crying in the bathroom because she feels like not attractive enough. You know, you see her and it's painful. Like she's like rubbing it off hard and just
to
like
the point where she's just like almost like scrape her
fucking face off. Yes, and it's like it breaks my heart because this is like she's gorgeous and like societal standards are so much harder on women, and that's the thing. We don't blame these women for doing all this stuff, you know, and the substance isn't blaming Demi Moore's character. If anything, the blame is on Dennis Quaid's character, you know, for like phasing her out. It's societal.
Which is society in general.
Yes, exactly. And I think about that movie often.
Me too.
Yeah,
like, I've been listening. I always listen to the score or like the soundtrack,
the original soundtrack,
and it's so good because like not only is it actually like really enjoyable, but like I just picture and like whenever the song plays, I just imagine the scene, and it's like it adds a layer, you know, to like enjoying the film. It may not be the best movie, but I do feel that like it's really well made. And, you know, what it talks about, it's very important.
Yeah. What's the next one you have?
The next one I have is Beetlejuice.
Oh, that film? Yes!
You know, we've been talking about, like, the mid-range movie. And I feel like that was a solid, like, sequel.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like nowadays, everything is either a sequel, a reboot, or like, a franchise.
Yeah.
So having what I think is a decent sequel to a very, you know, popular movie, and usually it's even harder to do sequels for movies that are like seen more as like one shots.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know. Well, like Beetlejuice, I feel like back then you couldn't really tell there could be a sequel, but I feel like this one, it made sense. You know, usually sequels, you can tell that they're just like money grabs or they just wanted to make a sequel because they wanted to keep ownership of the IP. But this one, it felt like it was right. You know, Catherine O'Hara, she is a comedic, like, tour de force.
Yes.
And whatever she does, even in this, like, she had her moments.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know her name.
Every moment Catherine O'Hara was on my screen, I was locked in and laughing.
Yeah,
she's hilarious.
Jenna Ortega, like, she was the perfect addition to that, like, whole feminine, like, she was energy.
Yes,
you know?
And you said it earlier, if this made sense. Somebody asked Winona Ryder, like, what do you think was the moment? Like, why did it take so long, but why now? And she says, I think we were waiting for Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
And I agree with her, which is chilling. And I love that they have such a good relationship. And Winona Ryder always gives Jenna Ortega her flowers. And it's so funny because I'm sure it's such a stark contrast from being on Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, I don't know if it's true, but have you seen that, like, she came out in an interview saying, like, yeah, people don't want to watch, young people don't want to watch.
Yeah. And it's like adding the whole cast.
Yeah. And then Millie Bobby Brown is like, oh, if it's something that's more than 2 hours long, I'm not.
Yeah.
And then, like, she's so clearly talking about her.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was, I remember her saying, like, yeah, Jenna and I just spent, like, hours talking about movies. And she knows so many old movies that, like, it was really, like, refreshing to experience someone so young with such a vast knowledge of cinema.
Yeah.
And, you know, I feel like even though, like, some movies don't always necessarily have, some casts don't have the best relationships, you can see that when they do, it just adds a more realism to the movie. Mm-hmm. You know, you could tell that there was a mother-daughter love between Winona Ryder and Jenna Ortega, but also, like, a grandma love from Catherine O'Hara. So it was a very good sequel with heart.
Yeah.
And that, I feel like that just makes it feel like it had to be made.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it had a reason to be made.
Yeah. You know who else became a daughter to me? And it's the combo of, like, Priscilla, Civil War, Alien Romulus. Is Kaylee Spaley, I think, or something like that. Some funny name.
So for my next one, I have Joker.
The Joker, baby.
Can we were there.
We were there.
And I loved it.
I loved it too. I'm gonna say it, and that's the movie where I'm like, everybody decided it was bad, and boom, all of a sudden it was a bad movie. It doing horrible. Horrible. It lost like hundreds of millions of dollars, but I think it had a lot of merit. I will say, I'll get the negatives out of the way from what I remember. Too many songs.
Yes.
It could have cut at least 3, and I'd be like, okay, yeah. They did too little Harley Quinn. And that's not just me as a little monster. She genuinely was the best part of the movie.
Yes.
Like, she just gave such energy to it. To whenever she was on screen, she ate.
A sequel, you would have expected her to be more.
Yes.
In it, you know.
I mean, it's literally French for like the 2 fulls. I'm pretty sure, like 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not one, 2.
Yes.
Exactly. And like, I knew it was gonna be good from the intro scene when it was animated. And it was trying to like replicate like old Walt Disney, you know, that era. And I was like, okay, this has artistic merit.
No, and I remember a lot of the musical numbers. They were like, whoa. Like,
they were whoa. They were exactly.
It was a very like visually pleasing movie. And like you said, I feel like people once they decided that it wasn't good, everyone just ran with it.
They're like, okay, yeah, bad.
I remember even my mom, she was like, did Lady Gaga come out with the movie? I was like, yeah, Joker 2. And she's like, oh, Joker? They made a new one? I was like, yeah, you should watch it. It's good.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel like those who aren't in, like,
online.
Twitter or, like, on social media, I feel like the general public would have been okay with it.
Yeah, I feel like it was a mix of, like, you know, it being a musical that a lot of people... Oh, I watched it... Technically, I watched it twice, but then the first time I only watched, like, first 30 minutes, and then I was like, wait, I'm on the clock. And I had to go. I had an event. But, like, don't fire me.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. There's nothing to be confirmed there. It was a joke. But I remember when we watched it, but both times people walked out. And ours? Mm-hmm. Almost the whole row walked out. Like, and it was always during a song.
Yeah, I was like, is everyone going to the bathroom? Why is everyone leaving?
Uncultured swines. Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was good. Lady Gaga gave an amazing performance. I think it had an interesting thing. Here's something I will definitely give about Joker 2 and their Harley Quinn. A lot of people were like, this isn't Harley Quinn, whatever. To me, if you want to go back to the roots of Harley Quinn, it's a character who had a toxic obsession with the Joker, and it was abusive. In Joker 2, Harley Quinn's character, you know, Lee, was obsessed with Joker. But it's very interesting because Joker 2 wanted to talk about Joker as a concept versus the person. And so Arthur Fleck. And so it would make sense that Lady Gaga's character would be obsessed only with Joker, not with Arthur Fleck. And that's what the movie like really kind of had its commentary about. And I thought it made sense as an adaptation of what it was trying to do. It was never trying to be comics accurate. The first one wasn't. You know, for what it was trying to do, I think it handled it well. And that's where I kind of go back to as somebody who like aspires to be a filmmaker. It's like you sometimes see what the director was trying to do or what the director wanted to do. And even if it's not what I wanted the director to do, you can tell when a director achieved what they wanted. And I was here for it. And I enjoyed that movie. I really did.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
So, Joker 2, overhated.
Overhated as fuck.
Yes.
Next one I have that is Inside Out 2, which we watched for my birthday, which to give a little tangent, for me, the first time, it's so silly. Like, I've always loved I've always loved like movies growing up. Like my family was a big movie watcher. Like we would watch once a week. We'd get together at my grandpa's house, watch a movie. I even remember like my tío like inviting us over, and he had like a projector outside, and we'd be in the backyard, and as a family we'd all watch a movie. And so that was always a part of it. But I remember a scene that made me realize like, oh, I want to like this talked to my soul was Inside Out 1. And it was the scene where where Riley, the main character, the little girl, she's having a nightmare. And Joy, even though she's not supposed to, she swaps out she turns off the nightmare and she plays an old memory. And the memory is when she was little, ice skating. And the music, the score, it is like it's in my top, I think, 3 most listened to songs of all time because it just grabbed me. And that scene, I shed tears. I cried. There was not a word spoken. It wasn't a sad scene. No one died. But I was just overcome with the emotion that was trying to be presented. And that was the first time I was like, whoa, like just visuals, you know? And I was like 14. It just hit. And so it felt so full circle that for my birthday, we all went together to watch the sequel. And the sequel was great. I had a great time. It was so fun. I think one of my favorite characters of 2024 was Anxiety. Like, it was such a fun watch. Maya Hawke, I was like, oh, I was not familiar with your game. Like, I've liked her in things, but I've never loved her.
Yeah.
And I feel like she gave such a, like, quirky, autistic coded, manic performance of anxiety that I just was like eating the fuck up. She was constantly cracking me up. And it was real. I mean, anxiety is a real thing.
It's real.
It's real.
It's fictional.
You know, they're fictional.
It's fictional,
but it's real. And so watching it presented just made sense. I don't know. It just clicked. And I feel like I've talked to so many. It's so funny. Again, Twitter was like, oh, whatever, hating, unoriginal sequel, whatever. But so many adults I've talked to who took their kids, they've told me I cried watching this because, like, of course, if you're, like, in general, the older you get, the more anxious you're going to be about shit. And one of those lines that just, I was like, oh, it hit me in my core. It was when Joy was like, maybe the older Riley gets, the less she's going to need Joy more. And I was like, it's true. Like, just the older we get, it's
joy.
That's joy. It's, you know, when you get a gift, you know, when you're a kid, it's like, yeah, and it's like, oh my God, thank you. Everything has became lesser. You feel things, you know, but you feel other things like anxiety. And so I thought it was great and overhated AF, I think.
I didn't know people hated it.
Yeah, just because it was a quote unquote sequel and everybody hates sequels. Okay. What about you? What was your next one?
My next one I have is Conclave.
Oh,
yeah. You know, as a Roman Catholic, you know, I take pride in it. Like, I don't care. Like, you know, I feel like a lot of people associate Catholicism with like guilt. Because I saw a tweet. It was like, like why is the aesthetic of Catholicism so like chic? And then someone was like, oh, because it has to be chic so they can entice people to join a religion that you are essentially like committing a sin even. So seeing a movie about how they choose the head of the Catholic Church, you know, I mean, I knew about the conclave because like every time a pope died, it was like a big deal in my family. Everyone's like, oh my God, like who's gonna be the new pope? And so, you know, it was really fun seeing like the whole process. Yeah. You know, like the cardinals uniting in the basilica in order to choose, like they vote on like the person that's going to replace the pope. They have certain candidates that are like more favorable than others, but ultimately it has to be a majority. So, and it's a very, like we talked about it. It's a very political movie in a very religious context. Yeah. Because I mean, when I watched it, it very much gave, because even back then I watched it October 31st, so like it was very, the election was going on. Conclave, big on Catholicism and real. Yeah. You know,
like you said earlier, honestly, I walked out of it and I felt like I watched what felt like a mix of like Succession and like Game of Thrones and the elements of like, for me, Game of Thrones is peak, Succession is peak when there's like moves being made and you're just kind of like watching this treachery and it's very fun, you know, like power plays and like one-upping each other and secrets. And so just seeing like I was ready. I knew very little about Conclave. So I was just like, okay, like I heard it's really good. I know it's a bunch of Cardinals, so I don't know if I'm like, I don't know. I really went in with no expectations, not low, not high, just none. And I was locked in. And it's so funny because I feel like this is a movie that 10 years ago, 20 years ago would have been a massive hit. Oh, yes. Because it's watchable, it's original, you got an amazing cast, everybody giving it their all. And yeah, it was, I think, top 3 of movies of last year, easy.
I think so too.
It was just Substance, Nosferatu, Conclave, honestly. Challengers in my top 5, I feel.
I think so.
Because I feel like I think Challengers was better than Conclave as a whole, but Conclave, maybe because it's recent, I just watched it a week ago. Like I feel like it's just something where we're gonna look back and we're gonna really think about how good it was. Like I just think there was a lot going for it, and I think Ralph, really devoured.
Yeah, I feel like it's a very strong movie. Yeah. Like I wouldn't be upset if that won Best Picture.
No.
Because I mean, compared to the front runners,
yes,
I'm like, no thank you.
No thank you. One movie I'll say that like I had on my thing that we did not care for And this is how I know. I'm like, we don't follow trends. Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, the worst movie ever.
Ever. Oh my God, was it just a sludge to go through? Like, oh my God, it was. I think Deadpool and Wolverine is one of those movies where it's like, okay, I can see in the future AI makes movies, and this feels like that.
Oh, 100%.
And it didn't feel like there was a life to it that other Deadpool movies have. I love Deadpool. You know, I rewatched
Deadpool 1
it.
and Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2 even is like, you know, X-Force, Domino.
I loved exactly. They were
like,
funny. It had this energy, and to me, all of that. The second he gets into the MCU, it all gets zapped away. I feel like it was pretty creatively bankrupt. I don't know. There wasn't things I was inspired by.
It just felt like random ideas mushed together into a movie.
Yes, it was. It just. It didn't work. It didn't work for me. There was one moment of the entire movie that I felt hit by something, and I got emotional. I cried. And it was at the end. It was the credits. And it's when they played the montage of all the Fox movies. Yeah. And I was like, I can't believe Disney ruined this. Like, I literally was crying because that raised us. Come on. The X-Men movies, like, so good. And that just felt like movies. And Deadpool and Wolverine did not feel like a movie. Yeah. It just felt so lifeless. So gray. It just felt like
a corporate movie. You know, just like a movie that studios make that will know. I mean, it made $1 billion.
Yeah, of course. It's always gonna make $1 billion.
Because you know, I feel like it's very just much catered to, like the dude bro, fan, like MCU fan.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I have a coworker and he's very much straight. Like he loves MCU. You know, we do. Like I do too. Like we just discuss it all the time. But like he Deadpool and Wolverine was the best movie of 2024. I was like, no, not really. And he's like, oh, it's because you don't want to follow trends. So you want to be different. You're one of those. I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm someone, or we're people that we like to form our own opinions, even if it goes against like the norm. But also like we have the balls to admit that like even if something is loved by people and we don't, like we'll say it.
Yeah, in the same way, even if people hate something
and we like it,
we say it. We said Madam Web and a Joker 2 were like good movies. They were fun movies. That's that's something people would not agree with.
100%. And you know, that's what I like about us. We're very individualistic in some sense, and sometimes in some aspects, but you know, with what we like, we're very like we care about what we like.
Yeah, 100%.
Another one. Okay, I have Anora, but I liked it. It was okay. I don't think it deserves the hype it gets.
Heavy agree.
Because, for example, like the next one that I watched after that one was Maria. And you know, Maria, like I remember that watching that, I was like, whoa, this is like cinema.
Yeah.
This is not like movies. This is straight up just like art. And I remember exactly the moment too. It was when she goes on a walk through Paris. She's like, I'm gonna go on a walk. And she's like, with who? They're like the butler is like, with who? He's like, with the person interviewing me. But it was just a symbolism for the drug she was taking. And then she's just walking through Paris, and it's like, she's walking through a bunch of trees, and then everything just like the way it's framed, she's in the middle, the trees are expanded, it's just beautiful. And then she keeps walking, and then out of nowhere people are dancing, and then it expands, and then she's in front of the Eiffel Tower. It was just like no words, it was just the music, just the camera and Angelina Jolie, and it was breathtaking. You know, like that's an actress. Like, you know, like we have actresses, of course, but we don't have like A-listers, like people that can sell movie tickets just because they're in the movie. You know, like Nicole Kidman, Angelina Jolie, even I guess like Lupita Nyong'o. I feel like she's a very much an A-lister. People watch her.
Meryl Streep. Yeah. People watch her.
Like, so Maria,
it commands your eyes. Yes. That's the thing about actresses nowadays, that they don't really, not all, but like comparatively, like, I'm sorry, Mikey Madison did not give the performance y'all swear she did.
No, but you know, it was a good one.
Yes, 100%.
Because I remember, like, I was so heartbroken for Anora. Like, you know, she thought her life was about to change, but then it just, out of nowhere, the rug gets pulled from her feet, and she's back to where she started. And you know, it's a very it is a tragic story, but I feel like awards should commend the acting. You know, not in and of itself the story of the character, but like Maria as Angelina as Maria Callas was like, she was there. Like it was like, I mean, I had never, I knew her songs because I mean they're famous opera songs, but I didn't know who Maria Callas was. But after seeing the movie, I was like, I met her and you know, I grieved her death.
I was about to say I mourned it. I mourned her death.
It was just like, it was just such a powerful performance that like even till this day I still think about it. Like I just like like it was just such a good movie. Visually, everything about it was just like 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. It was just probably one of my favorite movies. Like top 3, I think.
Of all time or of last year?
Of last year.
Yeah.
Because
easy.
It was just
well, it's in my top 5. Yeah. I feel like another movie that was just criminally underrated, not underrated per se because it was a blockbuster, but Alien Romulus was like god tier filmmaking.
It was like,
it was amazing.
I had never seen an Aliens movie or an Alien movie in theaters, but I watched it with Eileen, and I mean after I was just like whoa. Yeah. I was like, this is like next level horror. Yes. Like I remember the opening. It was like dead silent. It was in space. You just see like the rock go by, and it was just like, I remember I was terrified, because you know I always think about the tagline from the first one is like, in space no one can hear you scream. Genius. And like just being like the opening being super silent, and like I'm like, oh my god, like if I scream no one's gonna hear me, because it was just, they played with sound very well, which is something that the original Alien was known for, is like the sound design and how sound makes a horror film. It does. Everything does, but like something about it, especially when you're in a theater, like you hear it all and you're sucked in. Yeah, because I remember like speaking of sound, I remember when they go through the hallway with all the face huggers, and like they're like, okay, we're gonna like lower the temperature to our body temperature, the room temperature to our bodies, the temperature of our body, so we can like get mimicked or be invisible to them because they see via like heat signatures. So I remember I was in my seat, I was just like, don't move, like they're, because they started walking and you can just hear like the clicking, the little steps of the face huggers just all around you, and like you said, it's just part of the sound design. Yeah, it was so good that like I just felt like, oh my god, if I move, they're gonna get like jumped. Yeah, because I just felt like I was surrounded by face huggers. Yeah. It was just a very immersive experience of a movie. And I'm gonna say it, because I'm not that well versed, and even if I was, I didn't care about all the crowd pleasing moments, or they were like, this was just like every other Alien. Like the Alien diehards hated it because blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, I knew it was good because Eileen loved it, and usually I base my horror recommendations based on what Eileen says and her dad. And her dad loved Romulus, so I'm like, if her dad liked it, it's a good movie. And you know, like you said, I wasn't well versed enough to catch all the homages and stuff like that. Yeah, the whatever. But you know, after, I remember when it was over, I asked Eileen, I was like, was there anything that like connected it to other movies? And she's like, yeah, it takes place between the first and the second one. And I was like, no way, really? And she's like, yeah, like the ship that they go to is the one from the first one. I was like, what? No way. I mean, I told myself I was going to do it. I haven't done it, but I said I wanted to watch the first one just to see if I could catch the details or like the connections between Romulus and it. But yeah, I mean, another 10 out of 10 experience. I feel like that movie had to have been seen in theaters, because like just like the experience of watching it on the big screen with a good sound system, it engulfs you in the movie. Yeah. You're part of that world. Yeah. Whew. And I feel like the last thing maybe we can talk about was our double feature on Christmas Day of Baby Girl and Nosferatu. Yes. I'm the baby girl. So starting off with Baby Girl, I loved it. Oh, me too. I feel like it was definitely a fun
experience. Especially we went on Christmas Day, and it was just such a good vibe. And I've rewatched it since, and it holds up. I think Nicole Kidman is also one of the greats.
Oh,
she's somebody who is
100%.
not afraid to fucking go for it, and that's something I just feel like I wished actors did more. You know, even if you like, she just sells it. Like, it's a very sexual movie, and her orgasms are animalistic. They're like, "Argh." She's like, you know, and I'm like, oh girl, you needed that.
No, calm down.
100%.
Yes.
It was a very hot movie.
If for me, it was very much almost kind of like Challengers.
Yes, 100%.
In a way, they were movies about women owning their sexuality.
Yeah.
Because, you know, for example, like Baby Girl, I feel like a very big theme of it is that, like, women in power, like, you know, because she was a CEO,
Yeah.
like, can't, in a way, give in to their, like, urges,
Yeah.
especially sexual urges, but, like, men are.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, one of the things her assistant tells her is, like, oh, I thought, like, you would be different. Because, you know, because she was a woman,
Yeah.
but she was still having an affair with a subordinate.
Yeah.
But, you know, I feel like it's different because, it's different. Because I feel like women, most of the time, do it out of a need, while men do it just because they can.
Yeah, out of a want.
And, you know, maybe that's why it was, like you saying her orgasms were, or I don't even know if we can say orgasms, but, like, her orgasms were very animalistic because they were more like a human need, you know. Like, it was just like something
You could tell
that,
she
like,
was starved.
She needed
it, and that's her performance. She
Yes.
swings into it like, she was great. Harris Dickinson also, like,
yes.
No, calm down.
No,
Like,
calm down. Yes,
yeah,
no.
He was fantastic. Antonio was great too, as like the husband.
Antonio Banderas?
Yes.
Fee.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It was well acted, and I'm a big fan of, like, the director. She's done some great work, and one thing I have to say that really bothered me, and I'm so glad this is the perfect time to talk about it. She talked about how it was inspired by a real life experience. About how, like, an actor
the
who
milk thing,
the
no?
milk thing,
Uh-huh.
how a young actor had gotten her milk and she drank it
Oh.
just like it. But and I hate TikTok. It makes me want to rip my hair out. It was an interview and she talked about that, and so the comments were like, so she made like a self insert, or like, so the movie, and I'm like all these people were hating. I'm like, you guys are so idiotic if you don't think about all the male directors who just project their own fantasies into it.
Like Sam Levinson?
Like Sam Levinson, Quentin Tarantino. Even, like, that's not always bad. Like, it's inspired by your life. But Steven Spielberg with Fablemans, that movie was based off his life. You know, directors do it all the freaking time. So Quentin Tarantino can't go a movie without some weirdo shit. So, like, God forbid a woman uses her real life experience to tell a story, which it's so funny because the movie is about women owning their sexuality and, like, not being shamed for it. I always think about this. When we left the theater, I remember the guy behind us. He was like, so
She did all that.
She did all that and nothing happened. And I'm like, well, you don't get it then. Yeah. Because at the end, this was a character development. At the end, she owned her shame and she owned her sexuality. And that's what she wanted. And I love that line where she's like, if I want someone to embarrass me, I'll pay them. Like, or to try, you know, like, so don't try that.
And not only that, if it had been a man doing it, I'm 1,000,000,000% sure the guy behind us wouldn't have been like,
no!
So he did all that and nothing happened?
Spoiler, but, like, you know, she cheats. And it's so funny because, like, the husband finds out, and the guy, like, there's this one scene where, like, the husband's going off on her, and the same guy in front of us was like, he's like,
naughty.
He was in it. Yeah.
He was yelling at her.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. He literally was like, I'm like, whoa, are you okay?
Like, who cheated on you?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm here for women's rights and wrongs.
Me too.
Yes.
Like, you know, I'll always support women.
Yeah,
you know?
always. We always do.
I don't support the glamorization of murder.
No.
But I do support women.
Yes,
whatever
me too.
Whatever Gaga says. But and then the second part of that double feature was Nosferatu. Mm-hmm. I mean, another classic. Like,
instantly so.
Ooh, I remember it was just, you know, the thing about Robert Eggers and his, because I had this year I forgot what day on in October, 2 months before Nosferatu. It was the first time I had seen The Witch. So, I mean, I had seen The Lighthouse. I knew about The Witch, but I had never seen it. But the first time I watched that movie, I was like, he knows how to make a world.
Yeah. Oh,
like
billion%.
Like his movies are so immersive and so like rich that like almost immediately you're in that world. Like, you know, for The Witch, you're in the 16th century old town or whatever. Pilgrims, right? I think
something.
Pioneers. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and for Nosferatu, you're in Germany in the 18th century. You know, battling the Black Plague because Count Orlok is coming.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like I feel like I feel like maybe it's just more about like horror movies that they have to in a way create their world so well so you can exist in it. But like, I mean, yeah, Nosferatu, I was there.
It was expertly made.
Like the acting, I mean, Lily Rose Depp, you know.
Oh.
Call her a Nepo baby, but she can act.
She can act.
Lily Rose Depp, she may be a Nepo baby, but she can act.
Oh, and Bill Skarsgård?
Oh,
100%.
Keep it in, Bill. Just kidding. No,
and
but
he was amazing.
Nicholas Hoult
devoured.
Too.
Willem Dafoe.
Goat.
Yes. And then the unsung hero, I feel like, of Robert Eggers movies, he just knows how to tie things together. I'll put his name, but he was the dad from The Witch, the one.
Oh yes.
And he was in also Nosferatu. He always has like a cameo. He was amazing. He was great. He carried it. Everybody gave it their all. And I'm going to say it. Aaron Taylor Johnson he didn't give a bad performance. And that's the thing. Twitter decided for whatever reason it was bad. It had some camp to it. It had some life. And all of a sudden, everybody agrees that he gave a horrible performance.
But I liked him. He was good. Like you said, everyone just gave it their all.
Yeah,
they gave it their all.
From direction, the writing was great.
Like,
let's talk about it. It was breathtaking.
She's like she's looking out the window, and then it just pans out.
Yeah,
and, like, you see Count Orlok's hand just like spread his influence all. It was just like cinema. It was, you know. I remember cinema. I saw a clip of Martin Scorsese talking about Nosferatu and like Robert Eggers, and he's like, yeah, that guy just knows how to make movies.
Hell yeah.
Because it's like, I mean, The Lighthouse, that was another like, even though it took place in a lighthouse, it was just like, it was a big scope.
There was a world there.
Yes.
Yeah. And I feel like you would love, I think you would love, to be honest. The Northman was great.
Oh, I want to watch.
You should. And Bjork in it.
I got Rito.
I have Rito. Yes. It was great too. Anna Taylor-Joy was amazing in it.
Mother.
Alexander Skarsgård. Like, no, calm down.
No.
Calm down. That's one we should watch too at some point.
Sure.
Yeah, but no, Robert Eggers has quickly became one of the greats.
100%.
And he only has 4 films under his repertoire, but quickly became one of the greats, you know? And there has to be something to be said about Martin freaking Scorsese giving you your flowers. I would probably just die on the spot. You know what I mean? Like, what praises, and it's earned. It's not because, he's whatever.
It's just a tweet that the movie. He said it in I think he was being interviewed in a film festival.
Yeah.
And he just talked about it.
Yeah. No, he's amazing.
Like, it's just, that's good, like, movie.
Yeah.
Like a good cinema.
Yeah.
Arr, I love that.
Yeah. But, 2024 was a good year.
It was a good year for movies, yes.
Yeah. There's quite a few we didn't even get the chance to talk about, you know.
Wicked
was great. We talked about. We talked about it. We watched it. Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, over here
or down there. Yes. We watched it. We talked about it. Y2K was fun. Y2K. And you know, I don't really remember it actually as much as I thought I did.
Amelia Perez.
Bingo.
That's all I remember.
But I remember we had a good time.
Yes. No, it was. I remember.
No plastic. Yes. No plastic. Yes. It was. That was a movie that was overhated too. Twitter decided. I mean, it's not the best movie ever, and it's not a good necessarily. It's a good, solid movie.
Yeah.
But you know, it overhated, and that's the thing about. I'll say one last thing. That from penis to vagina. It was camp. It was trying to be ridiculous. Yes. It was trying to be absurd. I think it went for it. I think it worked, and there's a reason why everybody knows that.
And of course, you know, we like we understand that there are some, because apparently Mexico as a
a nation rejected it. Yeah,
and of course, like I understand, it's not the best or the most accurate representation of like the events that it's supposed to be discussing, because apparently like the director, he didn't even bother to make
he didn't want to,
like of course. And like I said, you have to take it with a grain of salt. Mm-hmm. It's like we said, it's not the best of movies, but as a movie, it's competent. It's a viewing.
Yes, and there's moments that are actually pretty good. Yeah, like not just like excuse me, and Selena was.
Oh, Selena.
Overhated. Yeah. Overhated.
Because like in the context of the movie, she was an American trying to speak Spanish.
Exactly.
So, of course she's not going to have the best Spanish.
Yeah. It made sense.
A lot of people don't even speak that well Spanish.
Yeah. Oh, I've watched so many videos where they're like hating on Amelia Perez, and they're like, I don't even speak Spanish, but I've heard so many bad things. I'm like, about Selena. I'm like,
you're Selena.
Exactly. Then you try and speak Spanish. Yeah. You do it. Mm-hmm. You don't, then don't say anything. Like, you can make your critiques. There's plenty of critiques to make about Amelia Perez, but also know your place. Like, so. But yeah, we love movies. We have a good time. We really do.
Like, as much as people, like, I mean, except the only movie we're probably not going to watch is probably going to be Captain America.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
There's too much.
There's too much. But we try and support.
Yes. We always try to go to the movies.
Yeah.
Because it's a tough market.
It is. Like, and movies, they need all the support they can get.
They do, yes.
Don't wait for streaming. Don't, just go see a movie. Last thing I want to say, there's this actor, his name is Vince, it's escaping me, but he was in a lot of like iconic movies of like the 2000s. A lot of rom-coms, comedies. Yes, Vince Vaughn.
Oh, the way he was in Dodgeball.
That's what I was thinking. And like
the greatest movie ever.
Wedding Crashers, he was just iconic in that regard. And he talked about how like you can't make original movies anymore because a lot of the market, and it's so true, used to be people would just go to theaters and like,
what's on?
Exactly. But you can't do that anymore. Audience aren't willing to take that risk anymore. Yeah. So please go just watch a movie. If you hear things about it, go make your own opinion.
Yes.
Just go watch it. There's nothing wrong with supporting cinema.
And even if people have bad opinions about a movie, go watch it.
Make your own. And if you agree with them, that's fine.
Not only that, but like I feel like in a way, lowering your expectations helps a movie.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's 100%. Been so many movies where like, I mean, I feel like Joker. Mm-hmm. I mean, I went to watch Joker with the expectation that it was going to be unwatchable.
Yeah.
But I feel like going with that low expectation made it a much more enjoyable movie because it wasn't as bad as people said it was.
100%. Even same with Madam Web.
Madam Web, yes.
Same one.
We made our own opinion, and it was
exactly.
And like you said, like we say, you don't have to necessarily agree with us, but it's good to have your own opinion.
Yep.
Because that's how conversations start.
Agreed.
Yes.
And thank you guys for joining us.
Oh yeah, thank you for it. This has been another episode.
Yeah, I think this one's gonna come out pretty soon.
Let's hope.
Yeah, let's hope. The reason why this is watchable and listenable
is because of her.
I
mean, go watch the old videos to see how it was when we were doing it.
100%.
But they're watchable.
They are watchable. So seriously, go watch.
Yeah, go watch.
Make your own opinion.
Make your own opinions about the content. Yeah, start with our channel.
With ours,
and then work towards movies.
Yes, help us get 1,000 followers so we can
go live. Yes. Follow the TikTok. I feel like our TikTok is like
it's fun.
It's because we need more work.
Exactly.
More constant work because we do put in the work, but it's just hard to maintain it.
It is. We usually go but still go. If we see that follower count, we'll be like, okay, yeah.
We'll take notice.
We will.
Don't think we won't.
We had one that kind of blew up for us. It was for Wicked.
I feel like the Wicked content did really well.
It did. So, we'll probably do some more fun stuff. If it matches, if it makes sense, we'll dress up.
We want to try to do at least every 4 videos, at least one where we dress up.
Yes, talking about the theme.
Yes, it's fun.
It is fun.
I mean, do you guys like that? If not, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, if you're like,
pay you. No, thank you. No, thank you. But also, comment below your favorite. Should we do 5 or 3 favorite movies of 2024?
Yeah, 5.
5, right? Yeah, I feel like it's easier.
It is. It is easier.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure. Because again, we watched a bunch. We didn't talk about them all. So if we see one and we're we've seen that, we'll talk about it there.
So Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My name's Leo.
I'm Drew.
And this has been the DL Show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.